You're listening to the Unlocking Financial Freedom podcast, episode number 1. On today's episode, I'll be talking about unlocking financial freedom through personal financial planning, and I'll also be talking about our launch competition, which we're hosting on our social media pages. So stay tuned. Hello, sanibonani njani. My name is Samkelo Magoqo, aka Chief Kasi Economist, aka the government guy, and I'd like to welcome you to the first podcast episode on our Unlocking Financial Freedom podcast. I'm very excited about this episode and about this personal brand website that I'm launching, and I want to take you guys on a journey to financial freedom. And on a journey to financial wellness throughout this blog and throughout this whole content marketing initiative. Many people, including myself, have it in their minds that they want to achieve financial freedom and economic freedom even. But I think it's quite important that we take a step back and ask the question, what is financial freedom? And is the universal definition of what it is. Someone might say financial freedom for them is being able to attain the type of lifestyle they want to enjoy. Or someone might say it's just being able to pay off all their debts so that they are debt-free in the new year or in their lifetime. Well, let me define what it means for me. Financial freedom for me is being able to afford the type of lifestyle I want to live. And most importantly, it's not something that happens overnight, but it's a process and a lifelong journey. The process to achieving financial freedom begins with taking charge of your personal finances. In other words, you must be able to account on how you spend your money on a monthly basis. With that said, let's go into a short break. And we'll come back and I'll dissect this financial freedom topic and this financial wellness topic more. See you after the break. Hey guys, sanibonani njani. I'm Chief Kasi Economist, and I'd like to share an exciting competition I'm hosting on my website. The winner of the competition will walk away with a registered company as well as a well-designed WordPress website. So listen up on how you enter. Step 1. Log on to YouTube and search for my channel, which is Chief Kasi Economist. Once you find the channel, the first thing you'll do is that you'll subscribe to it and then share any of the videos you find on the channel on Facebook with the hashtag Samkelo MAG, Samkelo Mag. Then the second step is that you log on Facebook and search for Chief Kasi Economist again. Then you'll find my page, and the first thing you'll do, you'll like the page, and then after liking it, share the page on your Facebook profile with the hashtag Samkelo Mag or Samkelo MAG. The grand prize, as I said, includes a registered company and a well-designed WordPress website. So, get on the competition and start entering. Welcome back, Sesmoile. I hope you guys are excited about our social media competition that we are running as the promo for the launch of the website and the launch of the Samkelo Magoqo personal brand. So please make sure that you head on over to our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel and do what needs to be done so that you enter the competition. So let's get back into that financial freedom topic we were speaking about. Planning your finances is necessary for you if you want to achieve financial freedom, as well as your lifestyle goals. According to the Financial Planning Standards Board, a standards setting body in the USA, financial planning can be defined as the process of developing strategies to assist clients in managing their personal financial affairs to meet life goals. Another definition provided by the Financial Planning Institute of Southern Africa defines financial planning as the process of determining whether and how an individual can meet life goals through the proper management of financial resources. Looking at these two definitions, it clearly shows that financial planning is a process whereby you or a client is working towards identifying and meeting their life goals and objectives through the proper management of their finances. So it's about you taking the initiative to know where your money goes, to know how to plan your finances basically. Financial planning has two main pillars or two broad themes that it talks about. The first theme is wealth creation. So as the name suggests, wealth creation speaks about how do you make your money grow? How do you make your asset base grow? How do you create wealth so that you may leave a legacy for your children, or so that you may be able to afford the type of lifestyle you want to live? It touches on topics such as retirement planning, investing for a child's education, starting your own business, or generally investing in financial markets or investing in other markets like the property market, the shares market, which is the stock market, or investing in the forex market or other derivative markets in the financial market. That's what wealth creation talks about. It talks about how do you grow the current base of money you have so that you may be able to retire comfortably in the future, or you may be able to take your child to university and so on, or maybe you may be able to satisfy the type of lifestyle you want to live. The other pillar is wealth preservation. Wealth preservation, as the name suggests, speaks about how then do you preserve and protect the wealth you've gained through your wealth creation activities. It includes topics and aspects such as estate planning, which involves setting up trusts as well as succession planning. It involves tax avoidance, which is a legal way of avoiding tax in South Africa. It talks about risk planning through insurance, life cover, short-term insurance on your car or on your house. It also talks about establishing an emergency fund so that you may be able to absorb short-term shocks that would need cash from you. So, for example, if you have an emergency fund, you know that if, for example, there's an emergency at hospital, or maybe you had an accident on your car and you have to pay excess on your insurance policy so that the insurance company fix your car. If you don't have, say, 5,000 rands for excess or 10,000 rands for excess, then you'd probably need to go to the bank to finance that and get a loan. But if you do have an emergency fund, it will only be a matter of withdrawing that money from that emergency fund and paying your excess, and you wouldn't have to incur extra debts and pay interest on that loan. All in all, financial planning basically enables you to enjoy benefits such as maintaining a balance of capital as well as income over time. Just imagine that if you're planning for a retirement, it's like you're saving for your future self. In fact, you are saving for your future self, because during the time where you are economically active and your earning ability is quite high, you take the money that you're getting today and you save it for tomorrow when you are not able to work during retirement. So this enables you to maintain a balance of capital as well as income over time. Financial planning also enables you to enjoy the protection of financial risks via short-term or long-term insurance. So for example, if you have a house that you've bought through a bond, you will need to have bond cover or you'll need to have life cover so that if it happens that you pass away while still paying off your bond, then the proceeds from that life cover policy will settle all the outstanding debt on that house of yours or on that property of yours. And this will ensure that your family has a roof over their head, even if you're not there. Financial planning also enables you to legitimately avoid and minimize tax. So, for example, if you contribute towards a retirement annuity, or if you have a pension fund through your employer, or if you're contributing towards a pension fund through your employer, you are able to take all of those contributions and deduct them as a deduction or on your gross income. And that leads to a lower taxable income, which could effectively lead to lower taxes on a monthly basis. So this would be a legal tax avoidance strategy that would enable you to minimize the amount of tax you pay lawfully. I'm a financial planner and I offer financial planning services and advice on various elements of financial planning, namely retirement planning, investment planning, risk planning, as well as personal financial management. However, I do know that many people don't believe in financial planners and advisors. In fact, they see them as unscrupulous thieves who don't have the client's best interest at heart. And to a certain extent, this is true, because for the longest time, financial advisors have been guilty of selling financial products as opposed to providing financial planning services. The fact that financial products are intangible, meaning that you can't test them, you can't test an insurance policy to see whether it's a right or wrong policy. You are solely dependent on the advisor's information and on the advisor's discretion on whether or not that policy is actually the right cover, quote unquote, the right cover for you. And if you've bought the wrong cover, you only see when you want to use the product, and in that case, it's often too late to fix that problem. So in light of this, it's quite important that financial advisors or planners first conduct what is called a needs analysis based on the information you provide, such as your financial status, as well as your personal circumstances, such as your family status and finding out who benefits from your salary or who stands to lose when you pass away, for example, or when you are incapacitated in an accident, for example. So a needs analysis can be conducted through a methodology known as the 6-step financial planning process. This process is as follows. The first step is about me as a financial planner establishing and defining a professional relationship with you. So basically, it entails me getting to know you and you getting to know me, and for us to basically establish a professional ground on how we would be conducting this relationship. The second step is about gathering the information and gathering data around your goals. So it's quite important for me to know your goals and to know your salary, to know your tax bracket, to know the dependents you have in your family, to know your health status and so on. All of this personal information is quite important for me to know so that I may come up with a relevant plan for you and not only push products and sell products to you, but to be able to conduct a needs analysis, I would need information from you. And with that said, it's quite important for you to open your heart and pour your heart out to your financial advisor. Tell them everything you can. If I can put it this way, it's like being naked in front of a person. Like you can become naked in front of your doctor because you know that your doctor needs to examine you. Equally so, with a financial planner, you need to be naked when it comes to finances so that the financial planner may be able to assess your financial status and come up with the best financial plan and the best financial solutions. The third step is about analyzing and evaluating your financial statement based on your data. The fourth step is when I, as a financial planner, develop and present financial planning recommendations, strategies, and or alternatives. The fifth step is basically about implementing the financial planning recommendations. So after I've gathered the information and analyzed all the financial planning information, your financial planning status, I'll come up with strategies and come up with a holistic financial plan that takes into account your retirement planning activities or your wealth creation activities as well as your wealth preservation activities. And then you would have to implement the plan and implement the recommendations. Implementing the recommendations will often require you to buy a financial product. So if you want to save more towards your retirement, you'd have to buy a retirement annuity. If you want to insure yourself because you want to buy a house or you want to buy a car, then you'd have to buy an insurance policy, which is insurance for your car or insurance on your life, which is life cover and so on. Once the fifth step has been done, the sixth step is about monitoring the financial plan and the recommendations and having what we call an annual review. So it's quite important that with your financial planner, you always have these annual reviews so that you know that you are on track or maybe that you're not on track to achieving your financial freedom. So it's quite crucial that you make sure that every time you get a chance, at least once a year, you must meet up with the financial planner so that you see whether you are on track or not. So that's basically the 6-step financial planning process that a financial planner or financial advisor must follow so that they ensure that they conduct a thorough needs analysis and they recommend products that are relevant to you. As I'm about to close the show, I just want to share with you why I do this and why I share this information with you. I'll start with a quote from Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. South Africa is one of the most unequal countries in terms of wealth distribution. SA's Gini coefficient is estimated to be at 0.64. The Gini coefficient is basically a measure which reflects the level of inequality in a country, where 0 is equal to absolute equality and 1 is absolute inequality. So as South Africa's Gini coefficient is estimated to be at 0.64%, this means that 64% of the country's wealth belongs to 20% of the population. In light of this, I'm interested in writing about financial freedom, financial planning, because I believe that education can help in improving SA's Gini coefficient and thus decrease economic inequality and help you achieve financial freedom. After studying towards my BCom degree at UKZN and finishing it, I'd gained so much information about finances and about the economy. And I wanted to share this information with people who were less fortunate and didn't have the chance to go to university just like I did. I also studied towards my postgrad diploma in personal financial planning at UKZN, where I learned more about financial planning as a field and as a science. Most importantly in my life, let me put it like this. If I could have any job in the world, it would be helping people like you gain skills so that they can thrive in the economy, so that they can fend for themselves. So after collecting all of this information and writing about these topics, I then saw a need to establish a personal brand also, where I could share knowledge I gained about finances and also about online marketing and digital marketing, where I could share all of these views on my personal capacity and basically have a no hold barred kind of situation or kind of platform. Because I don't really want to blur the lines between my personal brand, the Lokshin Online Learning Academy, and the Lokshin Investment Finance and Economics brand. So I saw it quite important that I establish this personal brand so that you may be able to differentiate and that I may not blur the lines between all of these brands. This personal brand and financial wellness publication comprises of a weekly podcast, which is this one that you're listening to, and a curated email newsletter. Content curation is the new thing now, where I am the algorithm, as Samkelo Magoqo. I go out into the internet and look out for the best articles and the best videos and other types of content online that talk about financial freedom, talk about entrepreneurship, they talk about personal financial planning, and every other topic that is relevant to you and relevant to financial wellness. So I publish this original content, which is a podcast as well as a curated email newsletter. Most importantly, all of this content that I publish is Christ-centered and it follows a kingdom approach to financial wellness. I truly believe that without God, we cannot achieve financial freedom and wellness. Hence why I have interwoven the word of God into this movement. I also believe that financial freedom can only be achieved if you are nourished spiritually. I believe in skills development as well as being spiritually developed. Yeah, sure, as a non-Christian, you can implement all these things that I will share on this website and they can work. All I'm saying is hear me out and you'll judge for yourself whether this is for you or not. With that said, I'll put up a link on the show notes linking a video by Miles Monroe on salvation and regeneration, so you can basically understand where I'm coming from. That's it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I hope you guys were well introduced to me. On the next episode, I'll be talking more about the financial planning process and more specifically about the wealth preservation pillar of financial planning. I'll be touching on the reasons why you should have insurance so that you can have a clear understanding of the role insurance plays in mitigating your financial risks. The reason why I'll start with the wealth preservation part of financial planning or the risk planning part is because we never know what risks may come through to us in life. We never know when we're gonna die, we never know when we're gonna have an accident, but these things can happen. So it's quite important to take care of the risk first and then move on to the wealth creation. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed yourself and don't forget to check out our social media competition on YouTube as well as on Facebook, and be sure to check out that curated email newsletter on your email inbox. Goodbye, guys.